Well, when we think about battling cancer, our thoughts immediately go to the person with the disease, but the people closest to them who support them through it, they are deeply impacted as well. So Cindy Hubiak knows that feeling well, and that's why she wrote a book called A Woman's Guide to Thriving After Prostate Cancer. And she joins us now to talk about why she decided to do this. Welcome to Sonoran Living.
Thank you, Andy. It's good to be here. And why did I?
Yeah, that is the question.
I couldn't find any resources to help women. I mean, as we talked earlier, it's a man's disease. He has prostate cancer.
Right.
It's such a disease, though, that really impacts women as well.
Well, what does it mean when you say thriving life? What do you mean by that?
It's different for every woman.
Okay.
And we talk about it's all about me. And when creating a thriving life, it really is. Thriving begins with me and ends with me.
Okay.
It's about getting to know yourself and defining what thriving means to you. I like using the word intimacy a lot.
Okay.
Into me see.
Oh, very good.
So when you take that word apart and really get to know yourself, often it's finding your passion, it's following that passion that's going to make you happy, live a thriving life.
So your husband had prostate cancer.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and you were researching, were you just trying to find things that would help you get through it, or you wanted to learn more about the disease?
There is a lot out there for men,
okay,
and there's some really good material for couples. Nothing really about the woman's journey.
Okay.
And the cool thing about this, Andy, is that any kind of thriving can happen with a woman after she goes through any kind of trauma, whether it's a breast cancer or a death in the family, a job loss. Sometimes we just go into survival mode. What we need as women are tools to learn how to take care of ourselves first, so that we can then take care of others around us.
Well, what do you think women, they struggle with the most when dealing with, I mean, with prostate cancer, but dealing, I guess, with anyone around you that you love that has cancer?
I think fear is the biggest thing that comes to us. With me, I was facing the loss of my husband. We'd been married almost 10 years. I didn't know what life would be like without him.
Right.
Or we could be facing a loss of our life or the loss of somebody else. What I found that helps fear are two things. One is gain as much knowledge as you can. So Steve and I immediately went out, we researched and found as many solutions as we could.
Because sometimes they say if you research too much, especially if you go online, like it can scare you.
You have to be really careful online and
so maybe
be very
going online
careful.
is not the place to Google, right?
You have to be careful. It's just like anything, just know your sources. And then the other tool that we like to use when we talk about our solutions for intimacy and how we create that intimate relationship with ourselves and others is to stay present. And a lot of that is through breathing. When we can get in touch with ourselves and our breathing, we can gain knowledge, we can eliminate that fear and live right in the moment.
Well, what would you say helped you move into a thriving life?
Learning how to reach closure in the past, going through any of those issues from my childhood or more current in my relationship, getting rid of that crap, as we like to say.
Okay, we can say that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So reaching closure, living in the present, you say something about focusing on the positive?
Absolutely. Focusing on gratitude. I'm so grateful that Steve is cancer-free. Always looking at my thoughts, reframing my thoughts into something that's positive, that's going to make my life thrive after this prostate cancer.
Well, when you say eliminating doubt, is that just not worrying that it could come back, or is that what you mean? What do you mean by that?
What I mean that is not going into the future. It's staying present. And I talk about ways in the book about learning how to thrive after prostate cancer and just staying as much in the moment as you can. And that way you don't go into the future and start doubting yourself.
Right, and getting scared all over again, right?
Right, right. And then if you do get scared, gaining knowledge. And finding things out, and then just being with yourself, getting to know yourself so that you know what makes you thrive.
So how is Steve doing?
He's doing very well.
Good.
Thank you. 4 years cancer-free.
And you guys live right here in the Valley, so that's another reason we wanted you to come on the show, because you're local and you're helping a lot of other people.
Well, I was born here in Phoenix. I love Arizona. 1 in 6 men have prostate cancer, Andy. So that means there are a lot of women out there being touched by this disease. We need to move out of survival, learning how to thrive.
Well, thank you for doing this and for helping so many people. And we are going to have all of Cindy's information on this book right there at sonoranliving.com.